prelim lock parlay that I feel exceptionally good about, more so than I have any other prelim locks in the past. And that is going to be a parlay between Courtney Casey and Antonina Shevchenko. I'm sorry. Hold on. Mm-hmm. Courtney Casey and Antonina Shevchenko versus Nina Nunez and Cynthia Calvillo. And the only person that worries me in that one at all is Cynthia Calvillo, because more recently than not, her fights haven't really been ending in decision. She has been, getting finished, but Nina Nunez is not really a finisher. So that is Courtney Casey and Antonina Shevchenko, and Nina Nunez versus Cynthia Calvillo, all to go the distance. Probably going to be in the minus 250 range for both of those. So potentially a plus 100 between those two parlays. But I feel good about that. What do you think about that little prelim lock parlay right there, Tom?
Well, it's my rule, so I can't go against it. And I know more people probably have this rule than me, but generally speaking, women's MMA fights, with the exception of some particular female fighters, are going to go the distance. And between these four ladies, I don't think any of them has particular finishing ability that scares me. Cynthia Calvillo, like you said, has a little bit of that predisposition to being finished, but I don't think Nina Nunez is the one who's going to go out and get that done. So I really like that. As far as other locks on this card, I don't have anyone that I feel comfortable letting you guys know is like a lock per se, but a couple fights that I want to highlight. That's going to be Ayman Zahabi versus Ricky Tercios. Ricky Tercios, you may remember as the winner of The Ultimate Fighter, the most recent interesting season. Amanda Nunes and who was it? I can't even remember.
Juliana Pena.
Juliana Pena. They were the coaches, and I think they probably had like 2 viewers, and both of those viewers were Juliana Pena and Amanda Nunes. So I don't think anybody was watching that Ultimate Fighter season. But the season before that, where you had Brian Ortega and Alexander Volkanovski, Ricky Tercios was the winner, I think, of the 135. Was it 35? Tercios was bantamweight, yeah. So, so Ricky Tercios, really interesting guy. Another one of those like anime style guys, really big in anime, kind of like like Israel Adesanya. He is really interesting with his style, likes to throw a variety of different things from weird angles. And then he's going up against Ayman Zahabi, which that last name may sound familiar, from Faraz Zahabi, head coach at the TriStar Gym, trains guys the likes of GSP. So I don't want to call that one a lock either way for either guy, but I do think that's going to be an interesting fight. I like watching Ricky Tercios. He goes out there, he has fun. He can finish in a variety of different ways. And then Ayman Zahabi, anytime that you have a guy like a brother or a father that is really a staple in the MMA community, it's going to be interesting. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that fight pans out for both of those guys. But I am going to agree with Keith with the 2 women's fights to go the distance. Put those together, get yourself a nice little plus 100. Put a unit and a half, 2, maybe even 3 units on that. See, I'm getting into the unit thing, Keith. I'm trying to talk like a better.
Yeah, I see some guys, they do like that third-party tracked, whatnot website, MMA betting tips, or I think it's called. Typically, you have to pay for people's picks on that, and then the website tracks it. But we are third-party tracked, essentially. I track your picks, you track my picks. So, and
they're in the descriptions, too. You can go and check out, like in the descriptions, I update it weekly. It'll say, what we did last week, what our overall 2022 record is, and I'll give you the percentage. I'm hitting last week. I didn't do the math on it yet, but last week I was at like 74.5% on the year. Keith, you're at 70% on the year, up from the 69, which is a little bit disappointing. A little bit disappointing, but at least we're moving in the right direction. At least you didn't drop the 68. That would have been upsetting. You lose the 69 and it goes down 1. But we'll take 70% hits, even if we are cherry picking the prelim card, but we picked the entire main card. So, hitting at 70, 75%, and now, halfway through the year, props on us.
Yeah, and that that's another thing too with a lot of those guys out there. They cherry pick the main card as well. So for us to be hitting at a 70% clip, that's really solid. And me personally, I thought about doing the whole units thing for a little bit there, but I don't want to tell people like, here's how much I'm putting and you should put the same amount so that you can yield the same returns. For me, it's if we talk about it on here, we're going to give you our logic. And if you feel confident about what we're saying and you as an intelligent person want to put a certain amount on that, however many units you decide, for me, it's, hey, more power to you. If you want to put a half on something that we feel strongly about because maybe you're not so sure, go ahead. We're not future tellers. I'm not Nostradamus out here. So if that's what you feel confident in, I like it, for you to say, hey, I'm putting 3-4 units on this.
It's a measure of confidence is kind of what I'm saying. Like, I'm betting on this and I feel comfortable putting 2 units on it. That's my confidence level to give somebody.
I'm not saying you. Yeah, I'm not saying you at all. But I'm saying deeper into the MMA community. Like me personally, yeah, I'll probably put 4 on this as well. And my units tend to be a little bit more on the on the bigger scale of things. I'm a little bit riskier with the wallet. But it's I don't support a lot of those guys that are like, you have to put 3 units on this because that's what I'm putting. And I'm not saying that you're that guy. I'm just, just touching on that. I see a lot of people on the MMA community, MMA Twitter that are like that. And, they do a good job. They track exactly okay, if you put 4 units on this and then you'd have this % return on investment. Sure. Good for you. But we're just here, we're having a good time and we're just trying to steer people in the right direction. But yeah, I do, with all that being said, I digress. I do like the Ricky Turcios pick. And, I personally, I'm leaning more towards taking him as a prelim lock. And he's minus 180 in that range on most sports books right now. And I think this early in the week, that's an absolute steal of a pick. And I think that's one that's going to move. He has that slight bit of name recognition from that season of The Ultimate Fighter. He became a little bit of a fan favorite out of that group. We have those guys that we remember, like Brian Battle and Urbina and
Trayshawn Gore is also fighting on this card.
Right, that was the guy I was looking for, Trayshawn Gore. So Ricky Turcios does have that little bit of name recognition, and I think for good reason the odds makers put him at a minus 180 favorite going into this one. Turcios, he likes to entertain. You said he's got that anime style like Adesanya, but it's more of a Goku as opposed to Adesanya. I'm not a big anime guy, so if there's somebody that's more, I guess One Punch Man guy. But yeah, he wants to entertain, and everybody remembers that moment from that season of The Ultimate Fighter where Turcios just wanted to stand in the middle. I forget who he was fighting, but he just stands in the middle and scraps. And I think if that happens this week with Zahabi, then it's Ricky Turcios' fight. If the two of them just stand in the middle and bang, because Ricky Turcios, his chin hasn't really been broken yet. He didn't take too much damage pre-UFC. He's still got a really good chin. And, the other thing that we got to look at too is he broke the ice, and he's one of those few guys that actually won his UFC debut this year. Those statistics are still really low. It was a split decision against Brady Highstand. But I'm a big fan of Ricky Turcios, and I expect a lengthy career, starting with a pretty definitive win over Zahabi this week. So I'm actually willing to take Ricky Turcios as another prelim lock, especially at that minus 180 line. I do feel good about that right now early in the week. So we